We're going small today. Well, smaller, because we're going to be making some Italian sub sliders with basil walnut pesto. Yeah, these slider-sized submarine sandwiches, maybe a little bit bigger than traditional sliders, but they're not full submarine sandwiches. They're gonna be great for a party, great for the Super Bowl, great for dinner if you wanna do something a little different. But the thing that really sets these apart is the pesto. So we're gonna make this basil walnut pesto now. And I'm using my little sort of mixer food processor here. We're gonna start by adding 5 cups of fresh basil. Next come 5 peeled garlic cloves. We're adding half a cup of toasted walnuts, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper, the zest of 1 lemon, and the juice of 1 lemon. We're gonna go ahead and give this a mix before we add our oil. You just wanna pulse this so we start breaking down that basil and the walnuts especially, and the garlic. Now, a lot of food processors or blenders allow you to add the oil sort of as you blend, so you add a little bit at a time. This doesn't have that function. So I'm starting with half a cup of olive oil. So that's about a 1/4 cup in there first. I'm gonna make sure you scrape the sides down, and we're gonna add the rest of our olive oil. And if you need to add more than half a cup, you can. Really getting it to the consistency that you like your pesto. Scrape everybody down again. Let's get a little taste. Ooh, that is nice. And now to finish this pesto off, this is a little bit different, but we're gonna add maybe a couple teaspoons of honey. Scrape it down, taste with a fresh spoon. That honey gives you a hint of a little sweetness, but it also helps sort of mellow any of the extra bright flavors it might have in there, sort of the garlic, the basil, even the toasted walnuts, because toasted walnuts and a lot of nuts, when you toast them, they bring out an almost popcorny flavor. And this honey really just sort of mellows everybody out a little bit. All right, our basil walnut pesto is ready. Let's start making some Italian sub sliders. All right, so we're using these ciabatta rolls today. Now, they're not as tiny, like I said, as real small slider buns, and you can use those if you want, but I really like ciabatta, and what I did with these is I made a pepper butter using red pepper flakes and softened butter. Put that on these ciabatta rolls and then toasted them in a pan. And what that does is obviously add some nice golden brown color to them and some crustiness and some flavor, but it helps soften the ciabatta rolls, because ciabatta rolls can have a tendency to be a little tough, a little hard on the outside. So when you heat them up, they soften a bit, and they're perfect for this. All right, we are gonna start assembling our Italian sub slider here. First thing I wanna do is put a little bit of iceberg lettuce on this bottom bun. Then we're gonna go with some Genoa salami, then some calabrese salami, some capicola, a nice piece of prosciutto. We're gonna put provolone on here, but first we're gonna put a little bit of shaved Parmesan. You may have been wondering, why isn't there any Parmesan in the pesto? Because there's gonna be Parmesan on the sandwich. I like doing it this way. Then we're gonna put a piece of provolone cheese, and now some of our basil walnut pesto. Spread that all over the top of this bad boy. We're gonna top this. I'm gonna make the rest, and then we're gonna have a taste. Here they are, our Italian sub sliders with basil walnut pesto. You might have noticed I forgot to put the red onions on as I was making that first one. Well, I caught my mistake off video, got the red onions on there. They add a nice little crunch to everything. Everything in here is sort of soft as you bite into it. Even the ciabatta rolls have softened because of heating, so that red onion really gives you a nice little crispiness. Got these here. I don't think I'm gonna eat them all, but I'm definitely gonna have one, so it's time to taste. So let's cut this one here so we have a little bit more manageable piece. Yeah, I know having to cut a slider in half doesn't make much sense, but that's all right. We're starting with a larger thing. A sub is pretty big, much bigger than a burger. Oh, that nice crunch from that toasted bun. See there? And I'm just gonna dive right in. I'm an Italian sub fiend. I will eat those sandwiches all day. This is such a nice little version of that. And with that basil pesto on here, oh man, nice brightness from that. The ciabatta bun toasted with that red pepper butter, great flavor. All the meats, everything you'd want or expect in an Italian sub, just in a smaller package with a couple of great additional flavors. So if you need some smaller sandwiches for a party coming up, or you just don't want an entire Italian sub, give it a shot making it on some smaller buns, some ciabatta rolls, and if you can, this basil walnut pesto really adds something extra to it. That's just out of this world.